had your name?
No, I was gonna say Gurjan, and then I was like, oh.
Who is that?
It's a long thought process.
Okay.
But anyway, my full name is Gurjan, but everyone calls me Gigi. Okay?
You learn something every day.
Now that that's over. So yeah. Oh, we wanted to reintroduce the podcast again, just in case this is the first time you're listening. This is our second season, our first episode. And our podcast is basically the three of us just talking about our walk with God and how we're evolving, different things that we're learning as we continue our walk as Christians. And we just hope you will be able to get something out of our conversations. You guys want to add on anything?
I think you got it.
Summed it up very well.
Yeah. We just talk and we invite you into our process, I guess, our walk. Yeah.
Exactly. And we recently, we had our end of the season podcast party. That was
in December.
Yeah.
Right. It was in December. It was at a nice coffee shop, and it was great. We had some of our listeners come out, and we spoke to them about, what they liked about last season, things that they wanted us to discuss, like, for instance, like bullying. I think we also got suggestions to talk about social media and how it impacts our lives. What else?
I think there was, I could be making this up, but I think there was depression was a topic.
Yes, no, you didn't make that up. Someone definitely did say that.
Yeah. Oh, and
like mental health. Like
mental health,
yeah,
right.
in general.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's
Yeah.
We should definitely just cover that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think we also were told to also try to do interviews, try to get people to come in and talk about if they are, knowledgeable about a certain topic, to come in and do an interview with us and come on our episode. So we got a lot of great feedback. So we just hope to incorporate it in our second season.
Yeah.
So, how's everyone?
I'm good.
You're good? It's
Yeah.
good, Mika. How about you, Vicky?
Pretty good, can't complain. I'm excited to see Black Panther later on. I wanted to do it like a church trip, but it wasn't organized well. But
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I saw it twice already.
okay,
I want to see it again, too.
I'll probably see it a third time.
I will, too, girl.
Yeah.
for the culture,
Yeah.
I was a little hesitant, to bring my Sunday school kids because I was like, oh, it has nothing to do with like God and stuff like that. But I realized other churches were doing that too. So I was like, okay, cool. So this is the way. All right.
No,
Fellowship and whatnot, right?
It is, though. I think, like, sometimes you're like, oh, well, this has nothing to do with God. Like, but we all live in the world.
Yeah.
So I think if something is positive,
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. So like I definitely want to incorporate it. Obviously it's not Black Panther because like it's not like by the time we organize like a trip and stuff, like everyone's probably already going to see it because even last week, the weekend that the movie came out, I was like, hey, how about next week we go see Black Panther, guys? Four or five of my kids was like, I already seen that twice already. I was like,
You're late, Sunday school teacher.
You're late. We should have saw it yesterday.
Get back together.
I was like, okay. So like if we're like planning this out, I already see like more and more kids watching it. So I was like, all right, so that's over. We're probably gonna go see like, I don't know, the Avengers or something. I don't know, something.
Yeah, that's the next movie, right?
Yeah. Or The Incredibles. There's so many like lit movies coming out, like family friendly.
Yeah.
We're not gonna see like Deadpool or something.
I can see some scary movies.
Exactly.
God is in this scary movie.
So let's all pray. Because
the demon that's over the little girl.
No fear in here, Like what?
Please.
There is a scary movie coming out on, I think, April 13th. It's a Friday the 13th, of course.
How scary? What is it?
I don't. I saw like a preview at work, but I can't remember the name or what it's about. Oh, actually, it's a Truth or Dare, and it's like I think it like whatever the spirit is that's doing the truth or dare, like ends up killing people.
Oh.
One of them makes someone cut out their tongue. It's pretty gruesome.
Wow.
Let's not talk about it.
Okay, I've literally seen 2 scary movies my entire life. Chucky, which scarred me for like years.
I saw Chucky as a child.
Yeah, like I was getting my
Too
hair
early.
braided, and the African lady was like, "Oh, it's okay for this child to watch this movie as she's getting her hair braided." Scarred me up until like
No.
I was like in elementary school until like I think I got over it in middle school. Like I was like a grown thinking that Chucky was hiding from me, hiding in the shadows. Whatever. And then I saw The Ring because like my cousin peer pressured me into it. Shout out to Emily if she's listening to this. You forced me, girl. All right. So she made me watch The Ring, and I was like, I don't really watch scary movies. She was like, we're watching it. And I was like, okay, so we're watching it. And this was back when house phones were still like a thing. And like the end of the movie, someone called the house phone. I was done. I was like, I'm done.
I'm not picking up.
God.
I was like, it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming out of the television at any moment.
I just can't, like, I know me, I can't put stuff like that in my spirit. Like, it's too much.
Now I won't watch a scary movie really, but back in the day, I used to love watching them. Like in high school, like I saw all the Saw movies.
You saw all the Saws.
All of them, yeah. Even, I think up to Saw, I think there was 6 of them.
I mean, after a while, weren't they like not scary anymore? Wasn't it just like a thriller?
I mean, it was still scary to me, but I still saw them.
I stopped after a certain point with Saw. I don't remember when, but I lost interest. But the first couple ones were really good.
Yeah.
They were really good.
I know like, a lot of people were talking about some doctor and like
Yeah. Freddy versus Jason, saw that. Yeah. Anyway, let's not start talking about scary movies. Let's get back on topic.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with bag of questions or current? Well, I guess Black Panther was current topic. Check.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's an epic film, epic black film, black superhero.
The women warriors.
The
Oh my gosh.
fact that the women weren't the typical like dainty little damsel in distress was like amazing. You just saw women in a different light. I just loved it, and the fact that they were like scientists, or what was she? The sister.
Yeah, she's I guess an engineer. I'd say.
Yeah. Oh,
And
spoiler alert.
scientist. She
Sorry.
looks.
Yeah, like spoiler, like I'm right here.
I mean, everybody saw it.
Everybody saw that in the trailer that she was.
But everybody saw the movie already, so
Yeah. No, I know she has a sister because I watched the little miniseries. I didn't read the comic book, but I didn't know anything about like engineering sciences. I just know that she was his little sister, and she wanted to be included in things. That's it. That's all I got from this little series.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go into a bag of questions before we get into our topic. Vicky, pick a question 1 through 8. I only came up with 8.
Okay, 7.
7. What is something that is on your bucket list?
Okay, I have 2 major things that one I'll most likely do. The other one I'm thinking about it. Like we were talking about it, I do want to shave my head. That's on my bucket list.
Oh.
And
Can I get your wigs?
Huh?
Can I get your hair?
I will
weave?
donate all of my Brazilians and Italians to you.
Thank you.
And second, I want to learn how to swim, and I'm going to start that soon. You know.
Yeah. That's
Mika already like tackled all my bucket list
Right?
things. Yeah, she's like, oh
I learned
girl.
how to swim.
I already know how to do that.
Well,
girl.
but I wanna get better at swimming, so I do want to take classes again.
You should take classes with me.
Polana was
Polana's-
my teacher for like a couple of classes.
Yeah, Polana's she's going to be teaching me.
At the Y.
Yeah,
That's where she. That's where I,
don't
took it
remember.
in Jamaica. Let me know. I'll come through.
okay, cool.
Cool. How about you, Mika? Anything on your bucket list?
Well, shaving my head, which I did. That was on my bucket
And
list.
she looks amazing.
Yeah.
She looks like
you.
foreign. Like she doesn't. Well, obviously she
Yeah.
does speak more than
No,
one language,
my
but
brother said the same thing. It's like you look like something, but I don't know, Haitian, African.
no,
something.
yeah, you
It's
look.
like you just don't look like you're from here. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not good.
Right.
You look like you speak perfect French, which you do, right? But doesn't she look like she speaks speaks perfect French.
I guess.
That girl speaks French.
Yeah. You look so, I don't know, like some type of Nubian.
Right?
Something.
It's so good. It's so
You
good.
could, like, you know, sell cocoa butter, like, you know, some
Maybe
type
shea
of-
butter. I don't like cocoa butter.
No, like because when I think like selling cocoa butter, I think like the little markets on the side of the street.
I don't know. I was thinking like, you know,
Like she
high
makes her
quality-
own.
Yeah.
Ball of cocoa butter.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too.
I was thinking more like European, like oh, you know, I went to Fashion Week and blah
Oh my
blah
God.
stuff like that.
Too.
Yeah, right. Doesn't she look like
gosh.
super?
Multiple identities.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right,
Yeah.
like she'd be in the crowd somewhere in a picture,
Yeah.
like sitting down.
I see it. Okay,
Yeah.
this is from this season. I see it. Okay.
Oh my
It's like that
God.
girl looks like she
No.
speaks
You
French.
guys are gassing me up.
It's good. I'm scared because like, what if I do it and I'm just like,
No, I think it would look good on you too. Everybody should do it.
I know I want to do it,
Yeah.
but especially before I turn 30. Oh, another thing on my bucket list, I want to go to Africa or Haiti.
Yeah.
You've never been to Haiti?
Me neither.
I went when I was 8, so that doesn't count.
That's not a bucket. You could do that tomorrow.
No, I want to plan out that trip well, and I like no shade to my family, none. But I don't want to go to see family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
but like I don't want to go see
I'm
family.
going
I
in
want
a
to
couple
go.
of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going in a couple weeks?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Going for a few days in a couple of weeks. Yeah. So
So is
Yeah,
there
but
anything
you
else
should
on your
go.
bucket list?
my other thing on my bucket list, what do I want to do? I used to want to go skydiving, but I don't know if that's still on there.
I went indoor
don't know.
skydiving. It was so fun.
Yeah?
It was like you have no control over your body. Like it's such an
That's-
interesting experience. He's like, no. But yeah,
I like
it was
having control over my
amazing.
body.
It's called iFly. It was
Well, now
so
that my
fun.
head is shaved, I have nothing to. Sure.
Oh yeah, I asked about that too.
The
I
wing
was
needs to be
like-
pinned down.
I was like, girl, what about hair? She was like, you're fine. There's a helmet. You're good. I was like, okay. She's like, just a low ponytail.
Okay.
So yeah, try the indoor. It was good.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else, but I do want to go to Africa.
What country?
I want to go to Kenya. I want to go to Nigeria. I want to go to South Africa. I want to go to Gabon.
Never heard of that one.
It's a French speaking. I think it's West Africa. I want to go to a lot of places. Benin. They say that's where the Haitians are from.
I thought we were from Ethiopia.
We are not.
I don't know.
I don't think we are.
No, so
never
yeah,
listened to
Ethiopians were never slaves. I'm sorry. Can we edit that out? They're like, girl, and it's Black History Month. I'm gonna need you to.
I know
Check
she did,
yourself.
right?
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I. Yeah.
Oh, I got Ethiopian from the Bible because it mentions that in Genesis.
We'll scratch the Ethiopian.
Yeah,
No need to.
because I'm like, where I get Ethiopia from?
You guys covered a lot what's on my bucket list. Like, same thing. I want to travel, obviously, to Africa. Trying to think of something else. You know what? I always wanted to be like an extra in a movie. Like, just like a random background person. I don't know why, but I would love to be like, oh yeah, guys, that's me right there.
Oh my gosh.
Like in that 5-second scene.
Yeah.
So like I can't act, but like I do write or whatever. But I just always wanted to be a background person.
Like Stan Lee.
Yeah, just like even if I had like a dying moment, like if like, you know, there was like
Yeah.
a bomb and then like
Girl, you
I
can
just
get that.
died.
You can get that done. Like,
Seriously?
yeah, that's the thing. Especially because we're in New York.
Yeah.
They love to hire extras.
And not even. I feel like I walk by a lot of movie sets all the time.
That's true.
So you go see Gigi one day. walking slowly, like she gonna have a coffee, talking about.
Yeah, you just hang out, hang
I
around.
don't know why, but I've always wanted to do that. But yeah, and then the traveling, which we discussed. So
I could see you looking directly at the camera, like they're like, no, ma'am, you're not supposed to look directly.
please cut.
You're supposed to be sad. Why are you smiling?
Take her out. Take her out. Take her out.
So stop waving. You in the back.
We stop recording so you can stop. Okay, so Mika, pick a question 1 through 8, not 7, because we're just
6.
Where are you when you are listening to podcasts?
Oh, usually I'm on the train
Yeah.
or in the car driving. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually driving. Like, I like it on the road. Like, I can just, like, pop it in and, like, listen. And typically, I'm, like, doing something else while I'm listening. Like, I'm not just sitting there. I don't know. I'm always I'm always doing something, either cleaning my room or driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I'm either legitimately cleaning or driving. It's very rare that, like, even because I do audiobooks too. So the same thing. I'm either cleaning or driving when I'm listening to my audiobooks. And I know some people, like, they'll just sit down and listen to the book. And I'm like, you're doing nothing else. Like, that's so.
I mean, for certain things, if it's like I listen to sermons, and I mean they're called podcasts, but they're actual sermons. So for those things, I actually sit down and take notes.
Okay.
So I actively listen to learn something. But if it's like a fun podcast or whatever, or just even if it's like educational, I just listen as I do something else.
When it's educational, because like I have like a YouTube watch list, like so like that's how I get like some of my news and like current events and stuff like that. I have to be doing something else. I can't just like sit down and watch the video because I'm like, all right, what else is going on? But like in the back, I'll hear like, oh, net neutrality. Da, da, da. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you know, as I'm doing something else. Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of shows the pace of, we live in New York, but like we're so always busy, like always doing something. We never just like sit and like take in whatever's being said to us.
Yeah.
Like, I think that actually shows a lot about like our culture and how New York is and how ridiculous it is. Like we're always multitasking or doing something. Like we're just not like sitting there, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's just, you know, how we are as New Yorkers. So
it's also bad when you think about it, really.
No, it is kind of bad
because you don't really enjoy the moment as much as you're supposed to capture something. Like you're doing multiple things, so you're not. If you're supposed to listen to something, you may miss some stuff. So yeah,
that's true. Okay, so let me pick a question. Our last question. You picked 7. You picked 7. It's 5. Have you ever broken any body parts? No, I haven't. I'm not the one to do physical activity as much.
I'm pretty safe.
I will run on a treadmill. That's about it. Maybe some cardio while at the mall.
I've broken a lot. Well, not a lot,
my God.
but I've broken some part. I broke my nose.
Oh,
Not by somebody punching me in the face. I fell from like a rooftop from the first story. Yeah.
What?
I've broken my femur. Just
Where's your
fractured
femur?
right here, on my leg.
Okay.
Like that big bone. I fractured it. Fell from playing something. I don't remember.
Are you like secretly a superhero? Why are you falling from buildings?
I loved being. I still love being active. I just sometimes I'm like, I feel like jumping. So
Just climb this tree.
Just do that.
With the rooftop thing, what happened?
Actually, it was nighttime
Superhero.
in Haiti. I decided to go up on top of the house for whatever reason. And there was this ladder to go up because my mom was also like, it was construction. It was like a construction zone. I was not supposed to be up there. And as I was going up the ladder, like transitioning from the ladder to the roof, my shoe got caught on something and like I fell to the ground onto a bed of rocks. I could have died, but I did not die. Yeah, I lost consciousness.
Wow.
Yeah, it was,
This turned from an adventure to like...
Because like danger.
Yeah, it was
right away.
But you know, I'm here.
Yeah. But I did not die. Thanks for the
I
update.
did not. I broke my tooth. I wasn't.
Wait, how old were you?
I was in 8th grade.
8th grade? Oh, yeah.
Seventh
is old.
7th grade. Yeah, middle school.
Wait, I knew you
on Halloween.
Wait, didn't I know you when we were in middle school?
Yeah.
What?
No, I was
Because you
like,
guys weren't that tight.
so there was I was running. Like these kids after school, they're like, "Oh, let's go like throw eggs at these people or whatever. So I was not one of the egg throwers.
Okay.
But I was amongst the kids that were
Egg
doing
throwing.
it, like, and they were throwing the eggs. And at one point, I think someone said the cops are coming. So I started running, and I fell right on the sidewalk, and I chipped my tooth. Yeah.
But wait, why were you running if you were like someone that was being
I mean, because it was
attacked?
like all the kids. I mean, I wasn't being attacked. I was with the kids.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they were throwing eggs, and I was just like, ha ha, throwing eggs. Like,
Yeah, they
This
would've-
is
they
a
would've-
sermon right
they would've
here.
took you down right
Watch
there.
who you associate with.
seriously.
Because the wicked run when no one's
Yeah.
That's so
chasing
true.
them.
So I was running with everybody else, and this lady, thank God, saw me fall, and she got out of her car, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, sweetie, are you okay?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "I'm fine." She said, "Let me call your mom." I'm like, "No, don't call my mom." She's like, "I have to call your mom."
have
because
another
you're
No, I'm
bleeding.
calling your mom.
You are bleeding. So yeah, my mom came. I had to go to the hospital, and
This is for the tooth.
yeah, and also like my gum. I don't know. That was more.
Oh, yeah.
my mouth. Like I was just.
You have
Yeah.
lived a life, Mika.
I did,
Girl,
yeah.
you used your body a lot. man.
Yeah, but I don't know. Did I break anything recently? I don't think so.
Recently.
Yeah.
I can't imagine breaking something because it's
Knock
like,
on plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's not. It heals. Like I can still feel the bump where my nose is broken, but it's like if you go over, you feel a bump, but it doesn't look crooked or anything.
You know.
No, you're fine.
I think I broke my nose.
Yeah.
I think you were there for it.
When was this?
Oh, okay. So let's
So you
spill
did
some
break a
tea.
bone.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So
Did Gigi break it?
yes. We were children. Technically, Gigi didn't break it, but technically you did. So like, I think. Okay. So like, we were all kids. It was me, you, and your sister in my house. Do you remember
This is
it?
involved.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
so like, we were like playing around or whatever, right? And she threw me on the bed. Haha, it was so fun. All right. And then she
I
took
do
Gigi.
remember this.
And she took Gigi on the bed, but my stupid head behind
my
didn't
God.
move. I stood over there like, yeah, right? And then Gigi falls on top of my face or whatever, right? And I was like,
my
ow.
gosh.
All right, Gigi's crying because like she
It
fell on the
hurt.
person.
Yeah, I was like, ow.
I'm crying because like I like whatever. But Gigi stopped crying. She's like, and she's looking at me like, yo, you good? And I was just like, I'm still crying. My grandma runs upstairs. I don't fully realize that there's blood gushing from my nose. I just see you and your sister and my grandma all looking like, oh my goodness, whatever, right? And my grandma like she's like starts screaming in Creole. Oh my God, what are you kids doing? What kind of game are you guys playing? Why is there blood everywhere? So my nose hurt for a couple of days, but we didn't go to the hospital. But I think I broke it. I don't know.
Nosebleed.
Maybe it was just a nosebleed.
Yeah, 'cause if you broke it, I think you would know.
I mean, when I fell from the rooftop, I didn't go to the hospital. That was traumatic. Like that was a big thing. Did not go to the hospital. Still here.
Still here.
I don't know, when you broke it, when you felt, you knew it was something.
Well, actually, my mom, she thought my face was gonna be messed up forever.
Oh my goodness.
Because she was like, oh my gosh, my beautiful daughter is gone. Her face will never, ever recover. I remember her saying that. Like, she wasn't saying it to me, but I overheard her talking to my aunt.
And you're in middle school, right?
No, I think I was 8 or 7 or 8.
That was another incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there was another. Never mind. I don't need to
It's a
tell
lot.
that
It's a
story,
lot.
but-
After all, your mom's like, Mika.
Just stop.
Yeah, I mean, when I hurt myself, my mom's like, well, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Well, that's enough for a bag of questions. So we're gonna jump into our topic. Our topic for today is your walk with Christ. We wanted to keep it very simple. We didn't want to jump into a topic for our first episode of the second season. So it'll be a very light conversation. And we're just gonna discuss where we're at today. So how would you guys describe where your walk with Christ is as of today?
What I want, that was a lot of dead air just now. But what I want is more intimacy. You know, like I want to be able to like really like, cause I'm getting better with studying him and like knowing his word and stuff like that. But I definitely do want like more intimacy. So like I've been incorporating more praise, like. So instead, I'm going to keep it 100. So instead of me listening to trap music in the shower and driving to work or whatever, you know, like I started listening to gospel, like starting last week. And I feel like it does help a little bit with it.
Helps a lot.
Right? Because like, it's like praise and it's like, it's not like, reading the Bible is good. Obviously it's good. It's like, but, the words kind of permeate your soul a little bit more. And it's just like, I don't know, switching out the genres instead of Cardi B, it's more like Ty Tribbett. Yeah, you know? And it's like some of the days I'll just be like crying and I'm like, yes, whatever, right? So I feel like that's helping me with my like intimacy with God.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I started doing the gospel thing. Well, not the gospel thing. Listening to gospel music, like mostly a few years ago. And like last year I fasted for, I think it was for like a month.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't watch anything. I didn't watch TV. I didn't go on Netflix. I didn't go on YouTube. I didn't go on social media. I just listened to only gospel music and prayed and read the Bible. And in that period of time, I realized like the things that occupied my mind was nothing that wasn't godly. Because it's like even when, like, you know, sometimes some thoughts come to your mind and you don't really sit down and say, ooh, how did that come by? But it's just like it comes and it goes, like, and you don't really pay it no mind. But I think, like, the things that we consume, the things we watch, the things we read, somehow they sneak into our subconsciousness.
Oh my God.
Realizing
that's what I'm working on the next topic, like social media. That's like literally one of the things I wanted to touch upon.
Yeah.
And it starts with like an inch too. Like it's like little by little by little.
Yeah.
It starts to affect you. Like you don't even notice it when it gets to a point of like, oh my gosh, I have no control of it. It's something so small and then it just spirals like a snowball effect. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I answered the question kind of.
Oh, no. How was your walk with God?
I mean, that right now, I mean, I think it's good, but it could be, of course, it could be better always. We're supposed to go from glory to glory, so never will we be in a place where we say, oh, we've arrived. Until we get to heaven. Today someone at church said, you know, for those of you, today is International Women's Day.
Really?
Yeah, today is February 25th. Yeah.
You would think that would be like in March, because that's like
Women's Month. I don't know, but they said today is International Women's Day, and they had different women give their testimonies, and one lady came up and she said, you know, for those of you praying or saying that, you know, when you get to heaven, you'll meet your husband, stop that, because you're not. There's no husbands in heaven.
Okay.
And one lady in the church, she was like, oh my God. Like,
wait, what?
She was so offended.
I've never heard of that, though.
Yeah, she's like, you're supposed to go from glory to glory on earth. And when you get to heaven, it's your whole existence would be dedicated to glorifying God.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I have not read that in the Bible personally, but I mean, from her saying it, it makes sense. It's like, and you won't even have the need to have love from someone else or to have companionship.
What are we building?
Yeah,
you know, how are we supporting each other? Like, we're done. Everything's done. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So
nobody's here to see you, Otis. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. So it's like God is going to be our desire, our like what we want to pay attention to, what we want to watch, what we want to read, what we want to see. So I was like, you make a good point. So
I feel like
Yeah.
it doesn't fully make sense to us right now because we're still living in the
Yes.
flesh. Because like when you think about it, like you're like, wait, so we're not gonna be washing anything? We're not gonna be
Yeah, like
that sounds
anything
really
else.
boring or whatever,
Yes,
right?
yes,
But
yes.
like I feel like that's because we're living in our flesh and we need things like that
Yeah.
to like, you know, but like if you don't have a flesh and it's just spirit,
Yeah.
and you're with the Holy Spirit, I feel like it's gonna be lit. Like it's gonna be like this is all you need or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Like honestly though, like during praise and worship, like I love praise and worship. Like I can stay in praise and worship all day. Like if it was just a service, like I can do it all day because I love my praise and worship team and everything. But I feel like that's like a piece of what we would really experience. Like that feeling that you have when
Yep.
you just all that release and you could feel God amongst like everyone. It's just amazing. And I just feel like that's just a small portion of what we would really experience.
And
Yeah.
time is probably not like a factor.
Exactly.
You know, you're not gonna be like, so how long?
Yeah, we
you know,
gotta-
is
we gotta
this
know
gonna
the
be?
word, right?
Yeah, it's like I need to take a nap. Like you know, that's not gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
you know. So
That's the other thing. Like, it's hard for anyone to imagine existing outside of time.
Exactly.
Like, because we age. There's a today, there's a tomorrow, there's a yesterday. Like, but there's not that in heaven. And it's kind of
oh my goodness.
like it
So
blows your
interesting.
mind when you try to
Yeah.
think about it.
I still like. I remember when we were talking about the 7 days of creation with my Sunday school kids. You know, like the basics and stuff. To this day, I still get questions like, "Oh, so how did he do that in a day?" I was like, "Time doesn't work like that for God. Okay? Like it just did. Like he did it on Monday and then he did it on Tuesday. Like it's just like
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's
Right.
so frustrating because it's like we understand, like we can't fathom, you know, timelines without time, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know, like the Bible simplifies it in days or whatever, right? But God doesn't work in days.
Right.
You know, he doesn't
Right.
have a calendar.
Right.
And he's not like, oh yeah, so you know, like,
Friday.
he's not waking up like, oh, all right, time to get to work. Like,
Yeah.
like that's not like a thing for him. So,
Right.
you know, that's why it was so hard for them to understand that. And I was getting so frustrated. They were like, but what about the dinosaurs? And I was like, you know what? All right. Like,
Yeah, and
we're moving on. You know?
I don't. And no one has an answer. Like even for us, like if you try to answer it for yourself, you're gonna frustrate yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just have faith and
Yeah.
believe. That's it.
Exactly. But a kid, like kids
all these
have
questions.
inquisitive minds.
Yeah.
Like I remember like asking those circular questions to my mom and driving her up the wall. Like, who is God's mom and dad? Like,
Yes, they can't understand that
I'm
concept.
like, what do you mean?
He's just there. He
How?
just popped up.
Like, who made him?
Yeah.
How did he create himself? Like, yeah. Anyway, let's not get into it. 'Cause
That's super existential. Yeah.
It's like he created time, but yet he doesn't live in it. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
It's-
that's for us.
yeah.
You know, and we think that's the end all be all, but it's not. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's like something punitive, like, oh yeah, you guys have your little calendars, your little alarm
Right.
clocks.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel like your walk with God has affected your other relationships?
So much. So much. Like I feel like even for people I don't like or people that I have problems with, I always find myself reminding myself that God doesn't love me more than he loves the person that I don't like or that I have a problem with. Like even if they're wicked and I'm supposedly good, like he doesn't look at this person and say, "Oh, actually, I love her more than I love you." Like, no, he loves us all.
Everybody has the same amount of grace.
I like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think just realizing that allows me to be more compassionate with people, even if it's like people I love that piss me off. Like, if for a second, I always like check myself and say, "Well, God loves this person as much as he loves you. And he tells you to forgive just like he forgives. And if you don't forgive, he's not going to forgive you." So then I'm like, well, I gotta forgive. And I guess it's selfish to say I'm forgiving just because I want God to forgive me too.
Is that?
I mean,
Is that though?
I don't know. It kind of is.
I think like
But you have to forgive genuinely, like
Right.
from your heart. Like, you can't just be like...
But it says that in the Bible, though, right? Like, I'm paraphrasing super hard, but it's like, if you don't forgive your neighbor, how do you expect God to forgive you? So it's basically saying that, right? So it's like, if you want God's forgiveness, you better forgive your neighbor. So,
right,
you know,
yeah.
I don't think it's like necessarily most people do things self-servingly. Like, even if you want to do something nice for somebody, you're doing that because you want their love.
Right.
Like,
Or the intention.
exactly. Like, my friend has a daughter, right? And it was her birthday. And I went out and like bought her like this like little like car and stuff, but I wasn't there to give it to her. And I was like, no, wait. I want to be the one. Because like I want to receive the credit from the little girl. You know, I don't want her to like, So like I didn't do that because like, oh yeah, she deserves a car. I did it because like, I want you to love me, little girl.
Yeah, you gotta, I think you have to look at your motives to like behind whatever you want to do.
But like, you know, most people have self-serve. Like not everybody. I feel like only person who gives just to give is God. Like even if you do it like, oh, I don't want the favor. You did it for yourself. Like, oh, I'm such a good person. Like, like, you know, like,
that's true.
You know,
you give yourself a pat on the back.
like I did a good thing today.
Yeah, because if you think about it, every selfless act is kind of selfish because sometimes you're kind of doing it just to help yourself, like in the sense of like sometimes you could be feeling a certain way and you know, like if you serve, like you'll feel better about yourself or whatever. So it in a way they are connected. And I guess that goes to show how God's love is something we can't even really measure or ever understand, because it's like something that we get from him sometimes is so hard to give to others. Like it's hard to forgive. It's hard to love. So
it is.
It goes to show how great his love is. Yeah.
I agree. What's the next question?
How do you feel like your walk with God has evolved from last season?
Has it
not evolved? Or
is it in the same place?
Stagnant.
Let's not use words like stagnant.
SAT word.
From last season, I guess, you know, just like, you know, the search for intimacy more. One thing, I didn't even answer the last question. So like, has it affected your relationship with others?
Oh yeah, sorry.
One thing, like, since I've been like super, like, not super, but I've been trying to get more intimacy from God. And like, I've been incorporating him into like, you know, my everyday like routine and stuff like that. One thing I'm a little afraid of is obviously all my friends are not like, like there with me, right? And I'm scared, like not scared. Like I'm like apprehensive of like when they're talking to me about certain things, they're like, oh girl, and I'm just like, oh well, Jesus says. And I'm like, I don't want to like be off-putting in that, but like this is me now, you know. This is like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, like I don't want. Yes, there is a change happening, but I'm still me, if that makes sense, you know? So, like, I don't want to be like, oh, this girl, you know, like... I'm just speaking words now. Like, I feel like I'm not making sense.
I get that, because even now, like, at work, there's, like, public enemy number one in my department that everyone hates on. And she happens to be my boss. And, like, people talk so bad. I mean, she does not do her work, and she's just, there's a lot of things wrong with her. But
hopefully she's not listening.
It's fine if she's listening. Because I mean, the thing is, for me, I've like the Christian thing that I've tried to do is just to be honest with her and about like the things that I see wrong in her that has to do with like managing me. I point it out to her in a loving way, not like to be confrontational or anything. But
speak the truth in love.
Right, I try to, but I think sometimes I deliver it harshly, but not with intention. But like I think like when people are gossiping or when people are, you know, doing things like one of my coworkers, she gloats in like being petty. She's like, you know,
oh my God,
I'm this petty, and I'm always like, well, I can't cheer you on.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's
like
no.
like I'm probably closest to her in the office, but I'm like, I cannot cheer you on with this. Like, I just can't.
That's another thing. It's like sometimes people like they have these faults and they're like applause their faults.
Right.
I do that too. Like, cause
everyone does,
I struggle with being petty too. I'm super passive aggressive or whatever. I'm just like, I'm super passive aggressive. And like, I joke about that, like, oh, I'm Queen Petty and stuff like that. But I'm just, after a while, I'm just like with like Black China and stuff like that, like she's like Queen Petty, and after a while I'm like, oh girl, this is kind of sad. Like you need to grow up. Like this is like you look crazy,
It's a deeper issue.
Yeah, it's like, how about you communicate with people in a sane manner, So like after a while, it's. Yeah,
you need to look within yourself and think about what's the deeper issue here.
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is, I guess I brought that up. It's like when you are changing to be Christ-like, and like the fear of losing good friends or close friends is legitimate. Like, I think, because some people are going to be, it's going to turn them off that you're not doing the things that you used to do. But I think you just have to expect that to happen. And it comes with the territory. Like, you can't avoid that.
Right.
No.
Right. You can't deny who you are. Like,
yeah, because, I mean, Christians are sort of outsiders. Like, we're in the world and we're friends with people of the world, but technically, like, the way that the world behaves is very flesh-based, and we're not supposed to be, like, following all flesh, but following the spirit. So, yeah, it's gonna be opposite.
It's like we're the vegans, like, and everybody else is just like eating meat, And it's like we have, we're trying. Like, I want to have that burger with you, but trying to be cleaner here. Okay, I'm trying to be cleaner. Is this soy?
Vegans are listening to this like, really? All right, and last question: How has God recently moved in your life, whether it's spiritual or physical?
You want to go first, Vicky?
Judy, how would you answer some of these questions?
Oh, sorry. I mean,
go ahead. Answer this one first.
You answer this first.
Okay. Spiritually. I would say spiritually, I feel like God has moved in my life in the sense of, like, I try to work on myself if I see there's things that I need to work on, like my temper while I'm driving in Brooklyn. There's certain things I feel like I need to work on. I feel like God has brought it to light, and I'm trying to work on that. So that's why I feel like God has moved, where I'm starting to notice what it is and working on it. So yeah,
that's good. For me, I think there are many things. I'm trying to pick one that I want to share.
Right?
Narrow it down.
Yeah. Spiritually, I mean, I guess just like I started fasting for Lent, like not eating meat. Just from, I think it started, February 14th on Valentine's Day it's supposed to go until Easter. But then I ate meat like a week into it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is horrible. And I was feeling really disappointed in myself. And then I'm like, then I felt like, I mean, it's always weird to me to say, I heard God. But God convicted me in that. And then I realized, I was reading, reading the Bible, and I realized that, like, I could do all of these, like, religious acts, but they're meaningless if my spirit is not, like, pure and clean and connected to God. And it's more important for me to have that connection than to, like, manifest it in the physical, if that makes sense, which is like the evidence of me fasting. So from then on, I'm like, well, if I can't handle like not eating meat for a long time. And it's not the fact that I love meat, it's just I honestly forgot that I was fasting. I just found myself eating, and
What
I'm
was
like,
it?
It was my mom's chicken or something like that.
Mom set you up.
Yeah,
Mom
and I'm like,
grill this
and
up
I'm like,
real quick.
Oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to be eating this, and I just kept going.
Like, oh no.
Your mom was like, don't waste that food, girl.
Yeah. So now I'm continuing it. So I don't eat meat throughout the week, but I just eat meat on the weekends.
Okay.
So, but I'm trying to keep it like all the way through until Easter. So we'll see what happens.
Good luck, girl.
Is that a way that God moved? Yeah, there's bigger things that I could have shared, but I guess I don't feel like sharing them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something like appropriate to share too, if that makes sense. Cause like this is one thing that I'm like currently going through, and I don't want somebody to hear it talk about. Oh, you talk about me, and I'm just like, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm just like trying to share. I guess one superficial way is like, I'm a really bad driver, like a really, really bad driver. And I feel like sometimes God drives my car for me. Like there'll be times where I'm like just swerving, and God's like, oh, got you. Like totally sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I'm saved by grace, and I'm just like, I don't know who gave me a license, but like, I feel like
I've had your license for over 10 years.
I know, I've been trying for a really long time.
That's Vicky, by the way.
Yes, please identify yourself.
I heard about you, but yeah. So God saves me every time I get behind that wheel. I'm not even joking. Like I really do think like He helps me.
I'm happy you're here today.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought about that when you said, I don't know what you said. You said something about like superficial. Mm-hmm. I thought, me shaving my head, I think that's something that God did in me too, because not that I hated my hair per se, but I just was so against me wearing my natural hair out. Like I was not with it. Like not even on not in my personal life, but like going to work, because I work with a lot of
Non-blacks?
Caucasians
Okay.
and non-blacks, and I always feel so self-conscious
Same.
about like my hair around people who are not my people.
Yeah.
And everybody's my people.
We're all God's people.
Yeah. So, but I think now I'm like, I really don't care. Like I feel super comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that God definitely did.
God was like, all right, girl, you stressing about this a little too much.
Yeah. Like this is, and the thing is, I feel like we all look our best in what God created us in. Like I feel like I look my best in my natural kinky texture. Like, yeah.
That's true. Like the way God intended it. It
Yeah.
looks good. Like sometimes when I have like regular, like my color hair, it looks really nice. Like that color. And I
Right.
like to switch up my colors, but when I
Yeah.
go back to regular.
And that's fine. There's nothing
whatever.
with it. Wrong with
Style-wise,
it.
yeah.
It's totally fine. Because I love myself a Brazilian, but
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Like it just my boyfriend was talking about that the other day too. He was just like, why don't you just wear your natural hair? Like and I was like, and it will be detangled every night by who?
Right.
Like, not me.
Exactly.
Like because I could just curl
Right.
her up
That's
and then
true.
pop her on
That
in the
is
morning,
exactly
and it stays like that for a week. You know.
Right.
That's the struggle. That's
Exactly.
the struggle that I will experience, I imagine, in a year when this thing starts growing out. Because I'm not gonna wear it short forever, I don't think. Although I may just love not doing anything and just rolling out of bed.
You can still have like little little styles without it actually growing out.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know if that's for me. I like hair. Like right now I feel like my neck is cold.
you should have done this in summer. I
know.
Oh my God, imagine
But-
going to the beach and just,
I thought about that. I thought about waiting, but yesterday I washed my hair and I'm like, let me just go shave this. I'm done. Like, so yeah, it was very
impromptu.
spontaneous, impromptu. Although I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
It's been liberating.
It is.
How are your showers? They're like good, right?
Well, I showered once since last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, oh my gosh. Even now I'm touching it, I'm like, it feels weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like my hands are cold and it feels cold to my scalp, but it feels good. Yeah.
Go ahead, girl.
We gotta update our Bitmojis.
Yeah, I have to do that.
I was about to get into Solange, but
It's a good song.
yeah, it is. I love that whole album. So yeah, that was our topic for our first episode of season 2.
It's a long episode.
Wow, I think we had to
You enjoyed
catch up with
it.
everybody.
Yes.
And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Word at the Table,
YouTube, SoundCloud, all of that.
iTunes,
Podcast,
yes,
iTunes.
We're
Rate
there,
and
guys.
subscribe.
No, we don't rate and subscribe.
We
anymore.
want
No,
ratings.
it's a thumbs up.
Oh well, on iTunes we want ratings.
Okay, yeah.
So rate on iTunes.
Rate on
thumbs
iTunes, thumbs up on YouTube.
On YouTube.
All that. We gave you guys homework.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm Brijan, aka Gigi.
I'm Victoria.
And Nika.
This is
A Word at the Table.